Hey guys, welcome back to See Your Dreams YouTube channel. So this is the lecture number 7 in English. Before starting with the lecture, let me tell you that I'll plan my further videos based on the response I am getting on these videos. So please, I request you all to give your feedback through the comment section so that I can plan the lectures, I can plan the further lectures accordingly. Okay. So starting with lecture number 7, we have to start with the fourth topic, and that is your provisions relating to audit committee. Now students, you have heard this term before where we were discussing about the term rotation of auditor, the manner of rotation of auditor, and we discussed that wherever audit committee is made, the first responsibility, the first power to recommend the names, to recommend the manner of rotation is with the audit committee, right? And after their recommendation, if the board considers, then that recommendation is forwarded to members, and else board just return backs, and we have studied the whole process, right? Now we are going to study that what are the applicability, in which type of companies is audit committee made, and what all constitutes the audit committee. So we are going to study about the term audit committee, right? So this is the section number 177. This talks about applicability of section number 177. So this topic talks about when in which type of companies is audit committee made. So where a company is required to constitute an audit committee, under section number 177, all appointments including filling of casual vacancy under this section shall be made after taking into account the recommendations of such committee. Now in this para they are saying this only, that wherever in a company, if there is an audit committee, so the first recommendation will be from audit committee. The audit committee will recommend for the filling of casual vacancy also, for the manner of rotation also. Okay, so it is like your in your schools, if you if you are especially from a CBSE board school, there are a lot of posts of teachers, like first is your principal, then is your coordinator, then is your vice principal, right? There are a lot of posts of people, then there are your coordinators. So like this, there are various posts. In similar way, in the company also, if there is an audit committee, then it is considered to be on the highest post, and then comes the board of directors, and then comes the members. So whenever there is an audit committee in the company, then first recommendation will be through audit committee, and then the power will go to the board. Okay, now what all constitutes, which type of companies have to make an audit committee? The class of companies to constitute audit committee including listed public companies. Now this includes all the listed public companies, and it also includes all the public companies, all the public companies, all the public companies. Now students, just remember one more provision. Wait, let me show you. And please pick up your colored pens, pick up your sticky notes and write. Here you have to write unlisted public company, private limited company, and A or B, other than A or B, and listed company. So rotation of auditor. For the rotation of auditor, the class of companies were listed companies, unlisted public companies, and private limited companies. So here were private limited companies also, and unlisted public companies also. Okay, here one person company and small company were excluded. So here on all what companies is rotation of auditor applicable? All listed companies, unlisted public companies whose paid up share capital is greater than or equal to 10 crores, and all private limited companies whose paid up share capital is greater than or equal to 50 crores, at whose threshold limit is below but their borrowings are greater than 50 crores, right? We have studied this. So here it is UPB 10, 50, 50. You have to write U, unlisted public company, PB. That means unlisted public company, private limited company, and borrowings 50. Okay. So this is a type of memory chart or memory technique by which you can remember what all is here. And listed companies in both the companies, in both the provisions, in rotation also and audit committee also. And what all is written here? Listed companies. Now they are talking about only public companies. There is not written private limited company. It is only written all public companies. Now what all criteria is applicable on public companies? With a paid up share capital of greater than or equal to 10 crores, with borrowings greater than or equal to 50 crores, and turnover of greater than or equal to 100 crores. So it is PBT 10, 50, 100. PBT 10, 50, 100. Wait, let me write it here. It is a type of memory chart, okay? So that you can remember in the exam. Wait, I'll write it here. PBT 10, 50, 100. Now what is PBT 10, 50, 100? It is all public companies whose paid up share capital is greater than or equal to 10 crores, whose borrowings are greater than or equal to 50 crores, and whose turnover is greater than or equal to 100 crores. So PBT 10, 50, 100. And for the your rotation of auditor, what was the applicability criteria? It was UPB 10, 50, 50. That means unlisted public company having a paid up share capital of greater than or equal to 10 crores, and your private limited company having a paid up share capital of greater than or equal to 50 crores, and all those companies whose threshold limit is below the threshold limit, whose limit is below the threshold limit, but the borrowings are exceeding 50 crores, right? So this was for the manner of rotation, and it is for the audit committee. So do not get confused in the provisions of both. It is this. Okay, now let us just understand what all is written here. So as per provisions of section number 177 of Companies Act, audit committee performs important functions including making recommendation for appointment. Now what are the powers of audit committee? They have the power to make recommendation for the appointment of auditor, right, for the filling of casual vacancy, for the remuneration, for the terms of appointment of auditor, for reviewing and monitoring the auditor's independence, and for evaluating the effectiveness of their performance, and for examining of financial statements and auditor's report thereon. So these are the powers of audit committee, right? It is to be remembered that audit committee consists of directors of the company. It consists of minimum 3 directors with independent directors forming majority. Now audit committee is made up of directors, okay? Besides, audit committee also performs other important functions. Audit committee helps in ensuring better standards of corporate governance. Now this is one of the most important portion, and please mark it for your MCQs. Okay. Audit committee consists of minimum 3 directors with independent directors forming majority. Okay. Also, they help in ensuring better standards of corporate governance. So this is one common point, but it is important that how many directors should be there? 3 independent directors. Okay. Now let us study the applicability. The chart which was made here, let us study this. So listed public company, it is important to know that in addition to listed public company, following classes of companies shall constitute an audit committee. Now if any company falls in these criteria, if it is a listed public company, then it has to form audit committee, and if it satisfies the following conditions, then it should form an audit committee. Now all public companies with a paid up share capital of greater than or equal to 10 crores, then all public companies, now here it is public companies, public companies, public companies, but here it is paid up share capital, turnover, and borrowings. Okay, but there was paid up share capital, and borrowings. Okay, so please just if you are studying this, if you are learning this portion, then please do remember the rotation of auditor also. Okay, do not mix the provisions, do not mix the applicability criteria, just make charts and learn them. Okay, the way I am telling you. So all public companies with the paid up share capital of greater than or equal to 10 crores, all public companies having turnover of greater than or equal to 100 crores, and all public companies having in aggregate outstanding loans or borrowings or debentures or deposits. Okay, so what all does this term include? B includes your borrowings, outstanding loans, then your borrowings from debentures, and your deposits exceeding 50 crores. Okay, now they have given one explanation. The paid up share capital or turnover or outstanding loans, borrowings, debentures, deposits, as the case may be, is exceeding on the date of the last audited financial statements shall be taken into account for the purposes of this rule. Now, this is also important, that from when should we consider this applicability. So this applicability criteria should be considered from the date of last audited financial statements. Okay, so if on that particular date any of the three of the criteria satisfied, then we have to constitute an audit committee. Okay, therefore provisions of constitution of audit committee are applicable only to listed public companies and those public companies which satisfy the criteria as stated above. Okay, now let us study the example. So XYZ Limited is a public company having a paid up share capital. Now it is not written private company, it is public company. If it was private company and the question was about the audit committee, then that particular company would not be applicable, would not be eligible to constitute an audit committee. Okay, so you have to learn the case study, you have to study the question very, very carefully. Okay, so XYZ is a public company and it is having a paid up share capital of 9 crore. Now, what was the criteria limit for this? What was the specified limit for paid up share capital? It was 10 crores. So here they are saying that their paid up share capital is 9 crores. Now 9 crores is less than 10 crores, so that means first condition is not satisfied. But between the conditions, is it and or? It is or. Okay, it is or. It is not compulsory that all the three conditions should be satisfied. It is just if one condition is also satisfied, then the company will have to form an audit committee. So that is why if first condition is not being satisfied, then we will move to the another condition. Okay, so they are saying that their turnover is of 150 crores. Now their turnover has exceeded 100 crores. That is why they have to form an audit committee, right? So will be required to constitute an audit committee under section number 177 because the requirement for constitution of audit committee arises if the company falls into any of the prescribed category. It is not written all, it is written any. Okay, so this is also very important, that between the condition, if it is or, then that means any of the conditions should be satisfied, but if it is and, then that means all the conditions should be satisfied. Okay, fine. Now let us study about the manner and procedure of selection and appointment of auditors. Okay, manner and selection of auditors. So how you are going to select and appoint auditors. Now Rule 3 of CAAR 2014 prescribes the following manner. Now in case of a company that is required to constitute an audit committee, the company, and in cases where such a committee is not required to be constituted, then the board shall take into consideration. They are saying that if there is an audit committee, if the particular company is required to constitute an audit committee, then audit committee, and if not required, then board. What should they do? They should take into consideration the qualifications and experience of the individual or the firm proposed to be considered for appointment of auditor. Now they are talking about an individual or an audit firm who is going to be appointed as the auditor of your company. Okay, so how you will select, how you will appoint the auditor? So the board or the audit committee, as the case may be, what should they do? They should first of all consider the qualifications and experience. You only think, now you have a company and you want to hire someone as your auditor. So first of all what you will consider, that are they eligible, are they qualified enough to audit our company? Okay, so first of all what you will check, the qualification, then you will check their experience. Okay, wait, what is it written? Consider and whether such qualifications and experience are commensurate commensurate with the size and requirements of the company. Okay, so what you will do, you will first check their qualifications and experience, and then you will match their qualifications and experience with your company's size and requirements. And if you think that okay, their qualification and experience is very much that can satisfy your requirements, then you will accept them. Okay, then you will appoint them. Now, it may be noted that while considering the appointment, the audit committee or the board, as the case may be, shall have regard to any order or pending proceeding relating to the professional matters of conduct against the proposed auditor before the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India or any competent authority or any court. Now, they are saying that while considering the qualifications and their experience, you should also check that whether any legal proceeding relating to the professional matters is pending or not, and if it is pending, then what is the matter and till when it will be closed. So all this you have to check. Okay, so you have to check regard to any order or pending proceeding. Okay, you have to check about it. Now, second point, they are saying the audit committee or the board, as the case may be, may call for such other information from the proposed auditor as it may deem fit. Now, if in the first step you think that their qualification and experience is matching with your requirements, also they do not have any pending legal proceeding, then what you will do, you will accept them. You will further think of appointing them. Okay, now to be more sure, you can also obtain any additional information which you deem fit. Okay, consider yourself as the BOD or audit committee and then try to understand this topic. Okay, so till now what I have told, that you have checked the qualification and experience, you have checked the proceedings. Okay, that whether any legal proceeding is there or not, and you found that their qualifications and experience is much, and also there is no such legal proceeding. So what you will do, you will obtain any further information which you deem fit. Okay, now subject to the provisions of Sub-Rule 1, where a company is required to constitute an audit committee, the company shall recommend the name of an individual or firm as auditor to the board for consideration, and in any other case, the board shall consider and recommend an individual or firm to the members in the EGM for the general meeting. Now, you have obtained all the information, you have matched the qualification and experience also. Now, there comes the step of recommendation. Now, I've already told you that whenever there is an audit committee, the first power will go to the audit committee, and if there is no audit committee, the board shall recommend to the members in the AGM. Okay, now we are talking about where there is an audit committee. Now, if the board agrees with the recommendation, okay, wait, audit committee has sent their recommendation to the board. Audit committee has sent their recommendation to the board. Okay, now, if the board agrees with the recommendation of audit committee, it shall further recommend the appointment of an individual or firm as an auditor to members in the AGM. Okay, now they have sent the recommendation and the board agrees. So what does the board do? Board send the recommendation further to the members in the AGM, and out of that recommendation only an individual or an audit firm is appointed as the auditor of that particular company. Okay, but in case board disagrees with the recommendation of audit committee, now what will happen? Okay, so what will happen is, if board disagrees with the recommendation of audit committee, it shall refer back the recommendation to the committee for reconsideration. So what will they do? Now they are not agreeing with the recommendation of audit committee. So what will we do? They will refer it back to the audit committee, citing reasons for the same, that why we have not accepted your recommendation. Okay, board will send back the recommendation citing the reasons. Okay, now if the audit committee, after reading and understanding the reasons cited by the board, now after considering the reasons given by the board, it decides not to reconsider its original recommendation, they say no, our recommendation will remain the same, and they disagree with the reasons given by the board for not accepting their recommendation. So in that case, the board shall record reasons for disagreement with the audit committee, and then the board will send its own recommendation to the members. Now what has happened is, they have sent back their recommendation and audit committee has disagreed. Okay, they are not trying to reconsider their original recommendation, and there is a disagreement with the board, between the board and the audit committee. So in that case, what will happen? In that case, it will be treated that there was no audit committee, and the board shall record the reasons for disagreement with the committee, and they should send their own recommendation for the consideration of the members in the AGM. And if the board agrees with the recommendation of the audit committee, it shall place the matter. This we have already discussed. Okay, now the auditor appointed in the AGM. Now what has happened? AGM has been held with the either the recommendation of the board if it has agreed, or with the recommendation of audit committee. Okay, now the auditor appointed in the AGM. Now the auditor that was appointed in that particular AGM with the recommendations were discussed, he shall hold the office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of the 6th annual general meeting within which such appointment has been made. Okay, and that meeting will be counted at first meeting, and after that meeting, that auditor will hold the position of the auditor till the conclusion of the 6th annual general meeting. Okay, so in this way the auditor is selected and appointed. Okay, now let us also study about the auditor's remuneration. So as per section number 142, the remuneration of the auditor shall be fixed at its general meeting or in such manner as may be determined therein. Okay, so it is fixed in the general meeting. However, board may fix remuneration of the first auditor appointed by it. First auditor remuneration may be fixed by board, but the remuneration of subsequent auditor will be fixed in the general meeting. Now further, the remuneration in addition to the fee payable, what all will be included in the remuneration? Include the expenses, if any, incurred by the auditor in connection with the audit of the company. Okay, so they are saying that in addition with the fees, if there is any expenditure incurred by the auditor on the audit, okay, so that will also be counted in the remuneration, and the auditor should be paid for the expense he has incurred on behalf of the company for the conduct of the audit. Okay, but this remuneration shall not include what should this remuneration not include? This remuneration should not include any facility extended to him, but does not include any remuneration paid to him for any other service. Now, if you have paid anything to the auditor for any other service, now any other services means any other service other than the audit. Okay, so for any other service, if you have any transaction with the auditor, then that particular transaction conducted by the auditor or you will not be counted in the remuneration of the auditor. Only the expenses or the fees that is connected to the conduct of the audit will be considered in the remuneration of the auditor. Okay, so therefore it has been clarified that the remuneration of auditor shall also include any facility provided to him or any expenses incurred by him for the conduct of audit. So this is very important line, for the conduct of audit. Okay, in connection with the audit, this is one of the most important line, but it shall not include any other service. Okay, so we have completed 2 topics, and then from the next video we will start with removal of auditor. So if you have really got help by my video, if you have understood these topics, then please do press the like button, and please do share your feedback through the comment section, because I should also know that whether I am able to help you all or not. Okay, till then, please do subscribe with the channel. So that you can receive updates regarding my new lectures, and very soon I will be present with the another topic. Ending this video here, and thank you so much.